Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on the Soulful and Wild show. This is episode 19, and as you can see, I have Sarah Bonner with me. Sarah is, well, I'm going to say she's an international dancer because I know that she has danced overseas and is a mad dance lady. So, Sarah, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, where do we even begin talking about dance? Now, you know, the purpose of this podcast is to tap into, practical spirituality, things that we can do and use to enhance our spiritual paths. And I mean, dance is something that's so integral to spirit, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I thought you'd be the perfect person to speak to about that because I know your passion is profound. Thank you.
I love to talk about dance and spiritual things.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect connection, I think.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, full confession, we did attempt to do this, or we did actually do this interview a couple of weeks ago, and we had so much of a challenge with the internet, which is why we are in person with each other. And this is the first time I've ever done it like this, so it's a bit of a trial.
And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, see how it goes. So, in terms of your journey with dance, and I know that it's really a spiritual thing for you, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Where do we begin? Do we look at, your start with dance, how that happened? Where do you want to begin?
I wonder if we could maybe talk about dance in general.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's something that is integral to humanity. If we look into ancient cultures, if we look into modern indigenous cultures, dance is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's except possibly some industrialized or displaced cultures like Australia. And coming back to dance helps us to come back to our heart, to achieve, a heart coherence, which is just, it's a fancy way of saying being able to feel again. Yeah, because our modern Australian society is really about conditioning us to be good little minions. Yeah. Produced for the empire, right?
Yeah.
We go to school, we dance, right? Children dance naturally. You put music on and you see the little babies bopping around in their high chairs. It's all everywhere. We see it. But then we go to school and we're taught sit up straight, hands on heads, sit in your chairs, study, absorb intellectual knowledge, intellectual ideas for 6 hours a day, right? With breaks, right? We're allowed out for sport, which is you and I have had some discussions about sport, and it's good, moves the body. We like sport. We don't hate sport, but it moves the body in very particular ways, which are about an external goal, achieving an external goal. So winning.
Yes.
As opposed to dance.
Being the best.
Yeah. Dance, which is about going inwards and feeling. Now, two kinds of dance. Yep. And like hundreds and thousands of kinds of dance. There are billions, as many people as there are on the planet as kinds of dance that there are. Largely, two kinds of dance. We've got the kind of dance that everybody knows and is afraid of, which is designed as part of it is taught empirically, right?
Yeah. To
learn how to improve and be the best and perform. Yeah. Which is nothing wrong with it, right? It's a fantastic thing to study, fantastic thing to do. It's dance. But it's also one of the things that stops people from thinking of themselves as dancers. Once it's been, trained out of us by primary school, so many people never come back to it because they look at the dance that they can see on stages or television or even TikTok, lots of that going around, and it doesn't relate to them at all.
Mm.
And if we look at, the dance that's taught in schools, it's kind of at about puberty, and we kind of bring very uncomfortable boys and girls together to do very uncomfortable things at a very uncomfortable time in their life. Like touching, like doing the heel and toe polka, things that don't, I don't know if we do heel and toe polka anymore.
I don't know.
But we did.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
And it's enough to put people off, and especially boys.
Yeah.
It's enough to put people off dancing because everything about it is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Whereas, you've learned how to play sport and the rules are obvious and it's straightforward.
Yeah.
It's such a loss though.
Yeah.
Because if we dance, we can feel ourselves.
Mm.
If we dance freely,
yeah,
we can also feel others in a comfortable, safe way.
Oh yes, and learn to respond to the nuances of their movement and read how they feel and things like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely.
I get that.
So my training, I've trained in the first way.
Yeah.
And now I'm unpacking all of that training to find myself using dance as a spiritual tool, as you say, to come back to my center, to feel my feelings, to feel subtleties in like energy, not just people, but I use it a lot for that. But feel subtle energies wherever I am.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah. Mm. And it can be a real release, can't it? I mean, I know, just speaking really, really basic and practically, during that COVID period, I was working from home actually in this space, and I was doing counselling online people, and it was a difficult time. And I was isolated, and normally working as a professional counsellor, if you work for, say, like a community service organisation, there's going to be somebody to debrief with if it's required. So I was really out on my own. And one of the things that I did do was I would play a track between clients, or if I had a really tricky, heavy-duty one, I would put this track on and I'd turn it up really loud and I'd dance around my lounge room and then go write my notes and be ready for the next client. And it was a very powerful tool for me to be okay because I was alone during that time. Yeah. Totally isolated actually. Yeah.
That sounds like it was challenging, but that you found dance as a tool to help you through that.
It was fantastic for that.
Yeah.
So, that's the reason why I say I imagine it would be a release in some way. So is that how you see that when you talk about feeling your feelings?
Very much so. So many things, so many experiences that we have, we collect, right? As we move through childhood, adulthood, all of the experiences we have. If we can't intellectualize them, and most things we can't, we can store them. Yeah, right. The Body Keeps the Score. It's a fantastic book, Bessel van der Kolk. But the energy of our experiences, our emotions that we are discouraged generally from feeling, let alone expressing, are trapped in our bodies, trapped in the tissues of our bodies. And it's sometimes really, really hard to access what they are, to release them, to understand them. But dance can help us do that. So we might just feel something in the body, and if we can move focused on that feeling, it can go. We don't even have to think about it. We don't have to name it. We just can move the energy and help that shift.
Yeah.
It can get as deep as you like, or just dance is also fantastic for celebration, right? So not just the, cleansing between clients or, moving the difficult emotions, but to be together in a group and dance together. They call it entrainment. It's about moving together as a group, and we've used it from the beginning of time to cohere societies, communities. The communities that dance together come better together. Maybe that's where that's coming from. But I mean, there's archaeological evidence that people danced. They found trodden down land at the same places they found bone flutes from prehistory.
Right, okay. Wow.
So we've been doing this for a long time. It's just that we're kind of in this weird place. And we met. Karen and I met at a weekend with David Holmgren from
and Rod Fenton
from permaculture. What David said, which was, it just like clicked a bunch of things into place for me, was that we came over from England, White Australia, the beginnings of White Australia, came over from a city where we were imprisoned for trying to feed ourselves, essentially.
Stay warm so you die.
Stealing. And put into this place where we not only didn't know how to farm this land, we didn't know how to farm. Right? I think it's the same with dance in Australia. We moved from our small communities on the land where we probably danced into big cities, the dark satanic mills, as they say, and lost that connection to each other.
And to the earth.
Very much so. And then we were brought over here and went, have at it, build a society. So we're learning more, right? As, people have been coming from places where they still dance, and also now starting to really value Indigenous wisdom. I went to a workshop a couple of years ago where I think it was Wiradjuri mob did some dances and shared them with us, and it was so wonderful to see this little tiny kid, like 2, just dancing with his people, not getting it right, which at the time, oh my God, because I studied ballet, right? Ballet is about doing it right, doing it better, doing it harder. And I went, this kid doesn't know what he's doing. And that's the point. He's doing it with his people. And it's not performance, it's a being. I went, I need to learn this stuff.
It's very special. I've seen, I lived on the Tiwi Islands for a while in the Territory, and so I've been blessed also to see dance happen in that way. And what I saw there, to add into what you've said, is they have a particular animal, really, so crocodile or whatever, and they dance that, and the movements are of that animal, which connects them profoundly with that creature and that place that they are on, because their country is everything for them. So I hear what you're saying, and it does deepen the connection. It gives place. It gives you a sense of belonging, and it makes sense of things. It's powerful. I can see why. I mean, Sarah and I have talked, privately before about the dance, and I keep looking at you and then forgetting about you being there. So excuse me for that, because I'm sort of here with her and I'm talking to her
at the same time as
aware that we're being watched, but perhaps only listen to. Yeah, I remember going to Mullumbimby, and Miten and Diva Pramal were doing this weekend chant, yoga / music thing. And I loved it so much. I went a couple of years in a row. The singing and the harmonising and the men singing and then the women singing and just using those sacred sounds, it dropped some incredible shit. I could feel it, like bits of armour falling off me over those days. And interspersed with the chanting was dancing.
Yeah.
And it was Dances of Universal Peace, I believe. So I want to find that.
Yeah.
But it was fascinating because over that period of time, you start to relax, you start to come home to yourself, like you're talking about with the movement and the dance. And when we were doing those dances, part of it was we had to look into each other's eyes and acknowledge partners, like it was two circles moving. And that was so profound for me. I found that deeply transformative, to actually be seen in a sacred space. It was a very safe space. And I wonder, with your extensive experience with dance, and in particular with tango, which I know was a passion for you for a long time, how that being seen, what is the impact for you when you dance that kind of dance? How does that affect your spirit or your... Yeah, could you speak to that, do you think?
Yeah, thank you. I want to acknowledge what you said about dropping your armor, first of all, because that's the magic of dance. That's the medicine of dance. That's medicine, isn't it? Like this is what we strive for with healing is dismantling this armor so that we can flow with the energy of the universe, so we can feel what's going on.
Yeah.
So there's a couple. I pick up on a couple of different ways of being seen. Yeah. And the first way is the way I was trained, which is to be seen by an audience, which is armor. We pack it on, make sure it looks perfect. And that has really shaped my self-perception. I saw myself from outside myself for a really long time, rather than from behind my eyes. Coming back to dance, in my 50s, really, is bringing me back to learning to be seen as myself, not as the performer, not as the entertainer. Coming back to trusting that I'm enough by de-armoring. Because inside that armor, that's all that, I'm not good enough, and this, I am imperfect, and that's actually fine. Who here is perfect? So tango has the ability to do that, to I wouldn't say seen like through eyes, but to be seen through your soul. Yeah. With tango, it's a dance where two people move as one, and it's improvised. There are no set steps. There's no choreography. You can dance tango in that first way as a performer. You can improve and be that person. But the tango I love is social tango. It's we get together as community and we dance together in part we dance together with strangers.
Yeah.
Moving together as one.
Yeah.
Improvising.
Wow.
So that takes, you can do it with training, with your armor on. You can absolutely do it that way. But the best dances for me have been when I've let it all go and I've trusted.
Yes, the big T word.
Big T word, yeah. Because it's absolutely you require the trust.
Yeah.
The leader, the divine masculine, is the person responsible for the dance, for keeping the partners safe.
Yeah.
Both partners, themselves and their follower, safe, and all the other dancers on the dance floor, not bashing into anything.
Yeah.
For suggesting the direction, suggesting the rhythm, the timing, the musicality.
Yeah.
The follower, the divine feminine, is the receptive person, the person who says, yeah, I accept that. Or, also I don't accept that. You can also, have your boundaries and go, that doesn't feel comfortable for me. But to have the dance, you have to agree. I'm going to lead. I'm going to follow. And in that space centered within yourself, each of those roles is very distinct, and they come together with a synergy, so that it's beyond just the music and the partnership. There's telepathy. There's the most incredible experiences I've had have been with huge group of people, an amazing leader, an orchestra, a live orchestra. So in Argentine tango, you dance a lot to old recordings of tango music from the golden age of tango. But sometimes you have live orchestras that play arrangements of familiar songs in different ways. So the rhythm is slightly different, not the beat's not exactly where you expect it to be. But because my partner and I were so connected, and it has been a stranger in many cases, because we're so connected, when the music is different to where I expect it to be, we're still on it. We're still with it. Because, I don't know, we tap into something.
Yeah.
We tap into this universal consciousness or whatever. So we have this peak flow experience with ourselves, with each other, with the dancers on the floor, with the musicians, with the music, with all of it at once. And it's just amazing. It's like a heart-opening experience. Yeah.
It's fantastic when you describe it like that, because you mentioned that permaculture thing earlier. I remember when I was doing that permaculture course with Rob, and he had all these golden bits, yellow wool basically, and he had all these animals and all these trees and all these different things, pictures of it on the table, and we had to place these threads between these different elements, this animal, that one, and what we ended up with was this incredible web, like a golden web. And when I think about the tarot, when you read the tarot, or when you're doing healing work with someone, or even, if you good sex, for example, you're tapping into this universal web, and that's really what you're describing, I think.
Yeah.
Is, we are all within this incredible energetic field, and everything's in it.
Yeah.
And when we are fully present with it, that's when everything works. That's what you're describing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
I love this.
It's exactly what you're saying. The quantum physics is coming up with this.
Yes.
They're calling it the quantum field. Yes, sure. People call it God. There's all kinds of names for it, but it's it's a thing that exists and we have experienced it. It's not just, but we can't experience it intellectually, right?
That's right.
It's a feeling that we have to get past the armor. We have to use whatever tools we've got to get past the armor so we can, have conversations like this that give you goosebumps,
exactly.
right? It's such pleasure.
Yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing. And you're right. It's definitely about dropping that armor, because when we open up, and we're talking about dance through movement, we get lost in that. We become free. Special connections with individuals, whether it's on the dance floor in other ways, safe spaces, and we do. And I feel like it's almost like our atoms begin to, there's space between them, and suddenly, almost unexpectedly, you're in it.
Yeah.
And that's where the magic is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it. So, yeah. So, we know what it is now. So, thinking about that, I know that you've got some different things that you're cooking up at the moment. And one of the things I'm really interested in is pausing, thinking. Hang on a moment. I know that we've sat together by your fire and chatted and spoken about the dance with no name, right? And when we had that conversation, I felt really inspired about the possibilities for that dance, because my sense about it was that you are working, and correct me if I've got this wrong, but my sense was that you are working a pathway for people to actually move so that they can almost tap into that themselves.
Yeah.
In a kind of like a supported group, like a workshop-y sort of thing.
Sure.
Did I read that right?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm attempting to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on Tango.
Mm-hmm.
Tango has a long history of codes, and impressions that people have of it, which many people are attracted to, many people are drawn to. It attracts a lot of men relative to other dance forms, and that is,
well, we like men.
We like men dancing. We think men should dance more because it helps with empathy, because it helps with this de-armoring. We think dance is good for all people, especially men. It is maybe not so attractive to some people for whom that is not their primary culture. It's from Argentina, and it's not necessarily what some people are attracted to. So, and also, I'm an Australian person. I have I've grown up here in other places, but I always felt a little bit weird saying I'm an Argentine tango dancer. So the dance with no name. It takes that dance and uses the parts of it that help connection, and focuses on the connection.
Yeah.
And also the lead and follow can be swapped. I mean, the lead is always going to be divine masculine. The follow is always going to be divine feminine. But as a woman, I can dance as a leader. I can embody that divine masculine and vice versa. So it's not gender based.
Yeah.
In a way that Argentine tango often is. I went to Milonga one night in Buenos Aires, and I had a couple of American friends who dance swinging.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
Yeah, fantastic dancers, blokes. And in between sets of tango, at a milonga is a social dance. In between sets of tango, sometimes they'd have like a bit of music that wasn't tango. And this night there was a swing set. And so my two mates got up and had a dance together. They looked incredible. They were having fun. And they sat down, and one of the old milongueros, one of the old dancers, came up and said, "Don't ever do that again in public. Men can't dance together. That's disgusting."
Right.
So that was all the time. This is going back a few years, and I'm sure it's changed a lot. But to not have to conform to those codes, I think can help open it up for a lot of people. Also, not having to fit the mold of
how are you going to say that?
not having to wear stiletto heels.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way. I don't need to say any more than that. It, we don't have to. We can dance where we are, not having to dance to tango music, Not everybody is attracted to the music of the 1940s. So the dance with no name.
You know this is going to stick, don't you? The dance with no name.
It's the newest social dance in the world because it's the one that you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tango is a walking dance, right? It's based on walking. And it makes it very accessible for people.
Yeah.
So I'm working on developing ways of sharing the movement vocabulary.
Yeah.
In a way that can be adopted for anybody's culture at any time.
I know that you're not fussed. You're not fussed. Like you've got that course online, dance grammar, and I know that there's no videos around that, and that is very, very foreign. I know when I looked at the website, I was like, where's the pictures? Like, where's the videos on how to do it? And it's only as I sort of looked into it more with you that I kind of like that. It's very out there, this idea that there's not going to be videos to show people what it's supposed to look like. It's challenging.
It's challenging to you because you can look at a video and understand what your body is supposed to do as a dancer.
Yeah.
However, there are a lot of people, a lot of men, who have never learned to copy somebody's body movements.
Yeah.
They work with words. We've spoken about the intellect, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things I learned very early on as a tango teacher was how to use my words.
Yeah, right.
Because I had a fantastic friend who was really generous with me and spent days, months, years saying, okay, when you take that step, you look different. Why? And forcing me to really understand what about my biomechanics was different to his biomechanics.
Yeah.
And instead of just going, you do it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, actually having to go, bend your knee very slightly.
Yes.
And use the straightening of your knee in a horizontal direction to push you to move forward.
Oh, my God, I know this one so well. I know this so well.
Yeah.
When you learn, when you study yoga to teach,
yes,
a big part of it is actually learning to language the movements, and you're facing, like you are when you're teaching tango, because I've seen you teach, you're facing your students, and in a perfect world, you're the opposite. So what they see is what they're doing. I could never, ever do that. But learning to actually verbally paint a picture is a big part of, your efficiency. So, and that is definitely a learned skill.
I have to say, it took a very long time to learn, because I when I learned dancing, when I learned tango, I learned it. The first few teachers I had did exactly that, copy me, and I could do it because I studied ballet for 13 years, and it was about do it like this and with a demonstration. And I went into this first class I was teaching with that. And my friend had a bit of a breakdown because he could not copy. He did not have the connection between eyes and dance, right? I feel for the guy, but I'm also really grateful that happened, because it's helped me to learn to express how to dance. So this is where the concept of dance grammar comes from. Is this is the language that we use. So to try to reach out to more men, there's so many ways, like so many videos in the world about dancing, right? I don't need to TikTok. I don't need to produce another video of dancing, right? That's not it. There's nothing wrong with it. A lot of people are learning a lot of dance with it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But my special skill set is in using language.
Yeah.
So that's what I've created. I'm not happy exactly with where the website is, with where the course Dance Together, which is the dance with no name. It's an ongoing development, but what I'm excited about for Dance Grammar, though, is that it is a platform for other dancers to come and share their work in language.
Yeah, right.
And I can help them. If there are dancers in a particular style want to come and, understand how to language what they're doing, if that's not their skill, please, if anybody is very good with language and dance, come. We've got a platform.
Yeah, great.
But I'm excited for that opportunity for growth.
Yeah. So we've talked about, I'm just aware of the time, we've been chatting for about 38 minutes, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. We can easily talk about this forever.
Yeah, sure.
But there is cake out there. And another cup of tea. So we've talked about the like dance for your soul, really. We've talked about tapping into the web. We've touched a little bit on your background in Argentina and ballet history and dance grammar. So I'm just thinking, what have we not talked about that we need to? And I'm just wondering, if somebody wanted to tap in to their essence, to create a space for themselves, what would your recommendation be for them to get started with themselves?
Put on some music. My understanding for a very long time about dance is movement to music. And then I started working for a contemporary dance company, and they don't always use music. But it's still dance.
Yeah.
But, we could start with music. Put on some music you love. And, just unlock your knees, right? Because if our knees are locked straight, we can't use our legs. Like, we can only use our feet to move us around. Yeah. But if we unlock our knees, then all of a sudden we've got a lot more movement available in the legs. And do it. Nobody's watching. Do it in a way that nobody's watching. And then you can just let it go. Be free with it. I use dance for all kinds of things, right? Moving the energy. I was telling you in our first interview about we had a mini cyclone come through where we live. And I live in a shed, and I'm surrounded by gum trees, and I was terrified. It felt like the house was about to lift off, like in the beginning of Wizard of Oz. And I was terrified. I was frozen, thinking that a tree was going to come down on my little house. And I realized this as I couldn't move, and then I remembered I'm a dancer, I can fix this, and just unlocked my knees. I just started moving.
Yeah.
And but by the time the wind had passed and the sun had come out again, I was fine.
Yeah.
I had no trauma embedded in my tissues from that fear, from that experience. Now, also, within our little yard, there were no trees down. So maybe tapping into some of that universal consciousness, bringing that dance in, maybe that kept us a little bit safer. There were trees down all over the rest of the property.
Yeah, right. Wow.
But our little yard, nothing. Safe. So that was pretty cool. We had a party you came to, our solstice gathering. It was fantastic fun. And, later in the night, put on some music, and we got up and just boogied together. And it just brings smiles.
Yeah.
We're not, nobody's judging. And nobody's judging there. Just seeing each other. As you said, looking into each other's eyes as we move. Maybe not as together as one, as though we were all doing, tango. But we're still there together.
Having a group energy. Yeah, that's right. Even when you do ritual work, so women's groups and things like that, that whole thing about moving as a group and you building energy.
Yes.
When you sing, when you move in, that holding hands and dancing around the circle, or I've been in spaces where all the women stand in a circle and they clap and they sing, and then one woman will go into the centre and she'll dance around and she'll say something, and all the other women acknowledge that, and then they all take a turn. So I hear what you're saying about that, that whole thing about in that group. That's beautiful, and
it's a wonder. It's so good. Like, going back to the beginning of time when we did it because our survival depended on it. Now we can do it because synergy, again, too. Like, the sum of the parts the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Yeah.
So, like dancing by myself, one thing, fantastic. Dancing in a group of people, we're then sharing energy, building energy,
and we can create shift. I actually genuinely feel that, places hold energy, we know that.
Yes.
That when you bring a group of people together and there is something like dance and song and joyful celebration, the place benefits from that being there. It doesn't disappear.
That's, absolutely. This is something that we've been working on at home. I live on my mother-in-law's cattle property, and we live in a big shed which had been storing things for a really long time. And we've got big plans for this place. We would love to host people to come and give healing workshops there. But in order for that to happen, we have had to move energy.
Yeah.
So we have had a series of gatherings where we have sung together, danced together, made, offerings by the fire to move this energy. And now you saw on the solstice, we've got 2 new rooms in the shed. We've got a new lounge room. They don't have walls or anything, but the energy is
very
there.
real.
It's clean. We've got space to dance. We've got space to move. So it's exciting when you bring people together. You raise the energy, and the energy knows. And it comes and it inhabits.
Yeah.
I also think that by tapping into the land there, I've been able to understand what it is that it wants. Now that's a big call, right? Because that land's been there for a really long time. But through de-armoring, through, kind of getting back into my body, getting that healing happening, I'm able to connect with the land. I was never raised on the land. I was a city girl. We moved countries every few years. I lived in ballet studios. So me and nature, no, I jump at, a piece of grass hitting my leg. But through the de-armoring, I can come back to it. I can be in it. I can now sit and have like lizards come and crawl over me, and I can have bugs land on me, and I'm not afraid of them. So I can feel things so much better. I can feel the land so much better, and I can breathe. Because that armor stops you from breathing, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And I definitely agree with you. I think it's totally normal for us to actually feel the land and to have that a two-way communication with that place where we are. I mean, we did speak about, I think we spoke about this earlier. We've definitely had a few chats. But, I think this morning we have also talked about dance with the Wiradjuri people. Maybe we spoke about it.
I think we did. Yeah.
And I mean, that's an integral part of, the First Nations people's connection with, dance and the land and, all the things. I'm getting a little fluffied off now. I've got a little little puppy joining the situation now. So, we could go on for hours. I wonder whether we should wrap this. And
I mean, it's not the first of many conversations with you, but there's plenty.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, we might wrap it there. So we've talked about quite a few things, dance related, using the importance of using dance for the body to release tension, trauma, move storms,
bye.
all sorts of things. And I'll actually put a link in the blurb about with your website so people can go and check that out.
I'd also love to offer your listeners, viewers, a half price access to the current course, which is called Dance Together. But I think if they use the code Soulful and Wild, that should be half price for all the courses when they are there.
There you go. So Soulful and the word and
yes,
wild.
Soulful and Wild, no spaces.
Yeah, cool.
Use that in the checkout.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you.